How's it going? Okay, let me see if I'm gone live, if I'm visible, if you guys can hear me, just comment in the chat. Hey, John. All right, it looks like you guys can hear me. Is there anybody here from Facebook that can hear me? YouTube seems fine. Okay, let's see. You guys able to hear me well? Okay, I got another person saying I can. Sorry, it's really hard to see where I'm getting the chats from, but okay, all right. So thank you so much for everyone who's here. And today I thought I'll do a bit of a demo because we're celebrating 50 members in our oil painting group on Facebook. If if you guys are watching from YouTube or LinkedIn, we have a Facebook group on Facebook, and it's called Oil Painting Tips for Beginners. I can send a link, and you guys can join the group where I share my process. My I go live. I do demos. I do live sessions on painting best practices. So today I really wanted to actually show you like a painting demo because it's leading up to my webinar this weekend. So if you guys are new here, I'm having a live masterclass free, and it's on brushwork. I think brushwork is a really important topic because we literally start a painting and end a painting with a brush stroke. So it becomes incredibly important how well we use our brush and how effectively we are able to transfer the paint from the palette onto the canvas and able to manipulate the paint on the canvas, because everything is based on that. Like even if it's a representational work or an abstract work, you have to have your own unique style of transferring the paint, and it's eventually gonna show up as your style when somebody views the painting, either in the show or in the gallery or anywhere online. They should be able to know, okay, this is John's work, right? So you should be able to develop your own style, and that's what this masterclass is about, which is happening this weekend on Saturday, July 29th at 1 uh, Western time. So yeah, so if you guys are free, and it's completely free, you can register for it. I'll again provide the link after the live is done. So I'm hoping all of you have the photo of what I'm going to try. If not, I have put it in the comments in below, so you can have a look. This is a scene from Vancouver Island, and I'll be doing a demo for briefly for like 30 to 40 minutes. I don't want to take up too long here. So this one is 8 by 10 canvas. So I just wanted it a little small so that I could do it quickly for this demo. Um, and yeah, if you guys have any questions while I paint, please put it in the chat. I'll try my best to see and answer those. Uh, yeah, okay, all right. So let's see. So I'm gonna just first try to finish the block in as soon as I can. Okay. So I believe this is from one of our Tofino photos because I just keep going over the ones that I have in my gallery, and I've been meaning to paint this for a very long time, and never got a chance. So I thought, okay, I've got to do this demo, so why not? Okay, trees coming up here. So again, at the very beginning stages, I'm very loose, and I just want to like briefly get the marks across. And I'm just using the basic transparent red oxide at the moment. Um, Yeah, if you guys have any questions while I paint, you can ask away. I'll try to see the comments as much as I can. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna reduce the height of this a little. I don't want it that overpowering or small hill in the front. Okay. Yeah, usually for this size or even up to 16 by 20, I try to finish the blocking uh, within 10 to 15 minutes as quickly as I can. If I've taken longer than that, it means I have not really like had a vision before I started to paint. Something that initially interests you and something that you really want to convey through your painting should be uh, considered as your very first marks, and it should be there in your blocking. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep this here really light. The sky is slightly gonna come out. Again, all these are really in the shadow area, so I'm not gonna do much at the moment. Let's see. Okay, okay. I might do more of these demos during the week. So if you guys have any requests or anything that you guys want to like you want me to share, please let me know in the group. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave it as this for now. I think this one is just a brief idea of where things are going to go. So this is what I call like a placement. Like this gives you like a brief idea of the overall shapes and sizes of major objects in the scene. So at this point, again, I've used a very thin, light paint. So you guys can always go back and redo the placement. You can redo your sizes. This part is very important. I mean, it's not like it's a hard and fast rule that you have to do it now. Oil painting is very forgivable, so you should be able to uh, change it as and when you go. Okay, so let's see if I see some comments here. Okay, let's see. So, which uh, paint am I using for the blocking? Okay, so I'm basically using transparent red oxide. That's my go-to um, medium for just laying down a very thin paint. And after that, I also use like ultramarine blue in case if I have to like shift my focus, because when everything is transparent oxide, it's a little hard for me to like know where the shapes are, because as you can see, it's very abstract for now. So I just like mix the blockings with transparent red oxide and ultramarine blues so that I just barely know where the outlines of the objects are. Again, you can use any transparent uh, colors for your blockings. And I usually like my warm blockings, so I use transparent red oxide. So yeah, okay. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to go ahead and do my darks. And so for this, I'm just going to change my brush and okay. So, so I'm just going to quickly go ahead and do my darks. Again, just broad strokes at the very initial stages. Since I kind of know where everything is gonna go, I start to use a little bit heavy paint as I go. I If it's a bigger canvas, I usually wait, but if it's a small canvas like this and I really know where everything is gonna go, I just start using medium and I use walnut oil for mine. Again, just broad basic shapes. See more here as well. Any other questions? Please let me know in the comments. I'm just doing the dark regions of the shadows, and since this is a ocean scene, there's a lot of air in the atmosphere, so I'm trying to get that sense of air in the darks. There's some rocks here, which I'll worry about later. Okay, so that's that. Any questions so far? Okay, let's see. I have one question here. Someone's asking what medium am I using? So I'm using walnut oil. It's not an alkyd, so it's just the walnut oil regular. I'm sure there's a name for it. I'm just not able to get it. Uh, but yeah, it's not walnut oil alkyd. Walnut oil alkyd, it dries a bit quicker, and in the studio or when I'm doing plein air, I usually use walnut oil alkyd. But in case if I'm not in a hurry to finish the painting, then I just allow it to um dry uh, slowly so that I can do wet on wet, which is what I really enjoy doing. So even here, I'm gonna go wet on wet as much as I can and work my way around. Okay, all right. Might go and do a little bit more in intensify my darks a bit more here. And the only reason I'm doing more intensely now is because I don't want to come back to it more than required. So while I know how much paint I need to use, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. This one also has a nice swan. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead with the lights, and as you can see, the light direction is this way. So everything that's lit up on the left hand side will be in the light region. So it's a little lighter. Again, this is just very basic marks. You can always come back later and change it. Let me know if you guys have any other questions as I paint. Okay. Again, we're just going to do basic marks, and the more longer and sharper your marks are, it's much easy to finish any shape or object as quickly as you can so that you don't have to go again and make it more fine, like with much more detail. Okay. Let's see. So I'm just going to go ahead and rebrush them. we're gonna go ahead with the water in a bit. I just wanted to finish this. Again, in the foreground, even though there's a lot going on, just try to see the overall shape and values of that object in the foreground, and just pick an average color, even if there are like so many smaller uh, different values and hues of different color. Just pick an average color for now so that you can at least finish the block in. There's some algae, there's too many different colors going here. So I'm just gonna make a hint of it and I'll probably come back to it later. Okay, just a hint of green just brings. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it as is for now, and then I'm gonna finish some greens that are going on the small rock. Okay, any questions so far? Are you guys able to hear me well as I paint? Let me know, or if I'm just mumbling my way across. Let's see. Okay, any other questions? Yeah, just put it in the chat window and I'll get to it. Okay, all right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get some greens across this rock. And it's just a bit brighter than what I intended. So just gonna tone it down. Yeah, you're just gonna pick the most important elements on each object. The more uh, the more elements you have, the more complicated the object gets. So as you paint intuitively, try to see how many important elements or what's the least number of elements you need to make an object look like an object, right? So that's the whole key, because anybody can do a shape with all the information that's out there. But the whole key is to use as little information as possible, but to make them, but to make the object as representational and uh, as whatever you see out there, right? So as you paint, just try to see, okay, so do I need to use this information or this information, and what I can avoid, and yet be able to fulfill your objective to make it look like an object. Okay, so a little bit slowed down here, so let me quickly get this out. Again, this I would still consider as my block-in. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and again, I have this as my plane one, like which is like foreground plane, and I'm gonna have this guy here as background plane, and the sky below as the way far back. So the greens over here are going to be slightly more brighter than the greens in that plane. So I have to drop down my values and I have to drop down my uh, saturation a bit so that it reads well. Otherwise, you can also use the same green and you can assume that they both are almost on this very same plane, and and that's okay too. So it's your painting, so you guys can do whatever it is that you wish. And also, since this is an ocean scene, the amount of air between two objects can vary drastically. So even if you want to make this look completely foggy, it's believable because in the ocean that happens. So so just be aware of what scene are you painting and what it is that uh, that environment is subjected to. So that way you can assess and use it to your advantage in your painting. So okay, just very briefly, just gonna trees down over here, which I'm gonna worry about later. Okay, okay, and then let's see, I'm gonna draw the sea line, the ocean line here. Okay, I think that should be fine. Here, okay. Again, I'm still using this same brush, so I'm just making sure that whatever paint I have on my palette is completely transferred onto there. Okay, so it's close to 30 minutes. Just want to get this blocking done in the next 10, 5 to 10. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing the ocean color so that I can read the value of my sky. Again, there is no order in which you can do this. I usually like to do my sky at the very ends. So here I'm actually going very heavy with the paint because I know exactly what it is that I want here. So I'm not doing much of blocking here. This portion is going to be a little darker because it's not going to get so much light because of the area. So it's going to be slightly darker and it's going to reflect the sky in a bit darker way than it's going to be there. So I'm going to make it a little dark than required. Okay, that's fine. If I want to lighten it up later, I can do that. Might do another live tomorrow and complete this painting. So I just wanted to finish the blocking for this demo. So this blue here, I really love that color. It's a bit of an aqua, so it's slightly it has that uh, transparency in it. So it has that blue, but also has that beautiful green glowing through it. It's a it's a tricky color to get, but it's a beautiful paint. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, can you share your reference photo? Okay, let's see. I have it in the comments. Let me see if I can find it and upload it. Give me a minute. Any other questions so far? Uh, okay, let me see. I'm trying to find out who asked me this question because it's very hard for me to see where. Okay, so I have it in the comments in the Facebook group. Okay, so yeah, and or if you want after this, I can see who asked me this question and I can re-upload the photo. But if you go to my Facebook uh, group, which is Oil Painting Tips for Beginners, you can find the image in the comments. Next time, what I'm going to do is probably I'll send out an email before with the image so that everybody has it. This was a bit of an impromptu session, so sorry about that. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this quickly for now. Again, you don't have to do uh, all the water regions over here. You can just like block it in and then slowly at the end, you can come back and see what you need and what you don't. So I'm just going to briefly finish that. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead with the sky. And again, sky is it's usually for the ocean side. It's a little different than when you're doing like a landscape scene. There's heavy atmosphere at the bottom region because the air molecules are going up from the water towards the sky. So you're going to have a lot of uh, evaporation happening in this region. So you're going to have a very dense, low value blue over like at the bottom. Even in a landscape, that can happen as well. But especially for an ocean scene, that happens a lot. Again, you don't have to take my word for it, but just see what's out there. And the more you see, the more you're able to like know why it happens. Um, okay, so what I'm going to do is make more white. Okay, so I'm gonna do a bit of I'm using the very same brush, so there's some amount of green that's going to the sky, but it's not much. So I'm just gonna ignore that at the moment. And you don't have to worry about the edges if you're not able to retain them. That's fine. You can always go back and do it again. Let's see. Yeah, if you're very close to the ground, just I use cerulean blue mainly when it's very close to the ground, and as it goes up, I use more of ultramarine. So, so in here, you can use the negative space to like make make an edge. Again, this is a very basic block-in. You can always go back and when we are going to do the final layer, we're going to come back with more heavy paint. And finish the layering. This one's got a bit of shape here. So yeah, try to see everything as a shape. Even if it's in the negative side, you still have a shape. Shape is not only for something positive, like something concrete. Even what's not concrete has a shape. So the more you're able to see that, the more simpler painting becomes. And just try to have fun transferring the paint. Yeah, you should be able to enjoy the paint as it flows from the brush onto the canvas. And the more fun you have, the more easy it gets. If not anything, it gets very easy because you will be able to control the pressure and the angle of the brush much more smoother, and that's very crucial even if you're not that equipped with anything technical. This one's a little bit more pointy as it goes to the top. And some sky holes. Don't worry about the sky holes later. Okay, any questions so far? Is this session being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. I'll post it once it's done. Um, is the screen okay? Is the screen clear? This is the best I could do in a short time. So I'm trying to see if I can have any other way to see if this is not going to make any difference at all. Yeah, please let me know if I can make the session any better. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, it's just brush marks at this moment. Like we're not even caring about what scene has to be. It's just a very brief outline. And even if you are doing a 16 by 20 or 20 by 24, it would be exactly the same process. The more simpler you keep your block-ins, the more easy it gets as you move at the to the later stages of the painting. So as we go up, we are gonna um, make the sky a bit bluer because as we know, the Earth is a bit round. So as it goes up, it curves a bit. So it reflects and it reflect refracts blue a bit more. Okay. Okay. Any other comments, please let me know. Okay. Wahid. Oh, thanks, Wahid. Okay. Okay. Again, here you don't have to worry about where the tree stops and where the sky starts. You can just make the edges flow, and then during your second stage where you go in with the heavy paints, you can go in much uh, intentional, and you can do the edges and you can clear all the stuff that you don't need. Okay, so I'm just gonna, for now for the sky, I'm just using titanium white and ultramarine blue. And try to have your brushstrokes as long as you possibly can. I mean, I have a mix of short and long strokes, but the more longer you have, the more you can move through the canvas quicker, and the less uh, variations you need. Again, as I told earlier, if you're able to pick out the most important elements for shape and you are able to convey that, that's great. And that holds the same thing for brushstrokes as well. The least amount of brushstrokes you can do to finish a scene, the more impactful and compelling it gets. So again, here I'm gonna uh, make a shape here to just to identify where it's gonna stop. And probably have to come back for this. Again, just try to keep it as loose as you can. And as you see, we didn't pick out any shape in particular. We just did all at once. And you should be able to finish the blocking all at once so that you don't start layering and you don't start breaking the scenes into different objects. That's when it starts to get a bit complicated, and what you could have done in like half hour into the painting, now it's going to take an hour or two long. So the more quicker if you want to do, the more easier you have to do for yourself, at least in the first 1 hour to one and a half hour. Okay, so it looks like so this one's fine, and wherever the darks are, I'm just gonna keep it very light with least amount of edges. I'm gonna take that brush again and just to make a statement on the foreground, I'm just gonna do a bit of lights, like highlights. Again, these are not final, so you can always come back and redo it. But I just wanted to show you how complete a blocking can look like. Any questions so far? Okay. So fast and efficient. I'm glad to see that again. Yeah, yeah. So I really like to like it's not as much as being fast, but it's just being clear in terms of what you're going to do. So the more clear you are when you look at a scene and when you look at a reference photo, if you're able to decipher the main elements at from the very start and just focus on that, then everything else uh, steps aside and you're able to like actually work on that from the very beginning. So that way you're not only quicker, but you're also very efficient in terms of your brushstrokes. So that's what I'm going to be talking more about in this weekend's masterclass because I feel it's very important. Uh, like like I could do more on form, color, texture, and all that, but those are really the technical aspects. But before we understand how a brushwork actually helps to make the painting come to life, I really wanted to address that so that after that I can move on to like actually showing how the other elements can be implemented to help you with the brushstrokes. So the only reason I'm adding a bit more lights here is so that I know where the painting is going to go when I come back to it next time. So, so the sooner you add your highlights, the more in tune you are to your final result, because we usually wait to add the highlights until the very end, but I prefer to add them from the very beginning. You're trying to you're trying to finish the painting from the start. It's not like you're doing and then finishing the painting, but your every step, every brushstroke, you're trying to finish from the very start so that after that's done, then you can use the other elements which are called helpers only to support what's already there than the other way around where you just go on and try to do everything, but and you keep that very important, interesting piece that you wanted to really convey to the very end. So instead of that, we do that from the start and just do everything else at the end. So that way, even if you want to stop anytime, you can just call it done and move on. Oops, wrong brushstroke. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop for that for the foreground. And before I go, just wanted to make some marks for the, this one is just gonna give you a bit of a linear element to abstractness that we have going on here. So I'm just gonna put in some stems. Oops, it's too dark. Okay, we got some more here. Okay, that. And then just wanted to do a little bit more of this one. So these rocks have a little bit coolness to it. So they're not actually like brown, they're slightly towards the bluer side. So you can add a bit of blue to your browns and make it a little cooler than required. Okay, I'm gonna finish the blocking by just adding a bit more darks. Okay, any other questions so far? Any other questions on the colors I'm using or anything technical? Probably tomorrow at the same time, I'll do another live and finish the painting. If I already don't do it in the evening, but I'm gonna try to resist and not complete it. Okay, the only reason I'm doing this again here is because tomorrow, if I, since these are in the darks, they're gonna dry really fast. So I really want to make sure that I can move it while I can instead of fighting with them tomorrow. And for the darks, I'm just basically using ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, cadret light, and a bit of cobalt violet. Okay. For here, you can use a little bit more blue to just to indicate the atmospheric perspective. So just a bit of blue would really help. Again, just keep the edges in this region very, very soft. Anything in the darks should be really soft. Otherwise, you're going to draw attention to them. Okay, I'm just going to leave it as is. Okay, how far are we? Okay, we're almost close to an hour, so let's probably stop at this. Okay, there's some twigs here. I'm just gonna add it here so that I know that I have to do it tomorrow. Okay, I'm probably going to stop here and continue tomorrow. So I think tomorrow at the same time I try to get this wrapped up and yeah, so this is what I'm going to be talking more in depth about in this weekend's masterclass because brushstrokes are like foundation, and with that, if you're able to master it as quickly as you can at the early on stages of your art journey, it's going to get much easier to learn the other concepts like form, color, because without this, it's very hard to understand how you're going to transfer the paint from the palette onto the canvas because that's the very first step, right? So, yeah, if you have any questions or if I've not been able to address it in this session, you can drop it in the comments. I will try to go over them after this live is done. And yeah, I have the recording. So as soon as the recording gets processed, I will upload it either in the Facebook group or on LinkedIn. But yeah, this is mainly for people who are there in the group, which is oil painting tips for beginners. I'm gonna drop a link below, and if possible, I try to send out an email beforehand whenever I'm doing live so that you guys know that I'll be hosting one. Okay. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you did because this was very random and I really wanted it to get it done. And yeah, if you want me to improve in any way in terms of camera or voice or just the way I present, please let me know and I'll try my best to do it much better next time. Okay? All right. Hope you guys enjoy and have a great Wednesday evening. See you guys tomorrow. See you.